Major League Baseball's pitch clock was supposed to stop 4-hour-long baseball games, but guess what? Today's Dodgers-Padres game in Seoul, South Korea was 3 hours and 50 minutes long, so it still technically worked. It was a really good game. San Diego won 15-11. Both teams put up a ton of offense today. Yesterday was a much more of a defensive struggle with both pitchers kind of being weird, and today Yamamoto made his major league debut and absolutely got lit up for 5 runs in the first inning. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the box score from today because I don't know how all of that happened. Because even as I was watching the entire game, it was weird. Yamamoto is the losing pitcher, 0-1 with a 45 ERA. King is the winning pitcher, 1-0 with an 8.1 ERA, and Suarez got the 4-out save. So that's pretty good. 17 hits for the Padres, 16 for the Dodgers. But the Padres had 6 walks, and actually so did the Dodgers. 14 RBIs for the Padres, 11 for the Dodgers. Really good game. When I'm looking at this, we've got Mookie Betts has a 667 average now. He's going to be leading MLB. Cronenworth has a 500, an OPS of 1.25. Betts is 1.8. These aren't sustainable numbers, but they're hilarious. Combined 23 men left on base, which is wild. Muncy had 2 errors today. Outman had a throwing error. Kim had his first stolen base today, which was good. Good for him. But he was the only Padre to not get a hit during the entire series, which is kind of sad. He did get on base. It was a fun game. First pitch was 7:07 p.m., 3 hours, 42 minutes. Attendance was 15,928 at the Gochuk Skydome, and obviously it took place on March 21st, 2024. I think yesterday's attendance was about the same, which not bad for Major League Baseball being in Korea. It was at 6 a.m. on the East Coast where I am, which is not a bad time to watch baseball if you're unemployed like I am and on spring break from school. But if I had a job and wasn't in college, it would have been one of the worst times to watch baseball. I would have had to probably leave middle of the 5th inning because that's when it was about 8 o'clock during the 5th. On-field product was great, but it was overshadowed by the Ohtani and Ippei news. With the $4.5 million wire transfer to the illegal bookie. Now, whether or not Ohtani actually was gambling is all pure speculation. But what we do know is that $4.5 million was sent to the illegal bookie, and it had Ohtani's legal name on it with the word loan per ESPN. And we also know that Ippei made a statement saying that Ohtani gave him the money. And then Ohtani's lawyers were like, oh, shit, that's a federal crime. And apparently recanted the statement and said that it was stolen. I'm sure we'll find out more once this is investigated. Major League Baseball is not currently running an investigation into Ohtani, though I'm sure once they get back to the States, Major League Baseball will at least give him a phone call and be like, yo, what's up? The worst case scenario for Ohtani is a lifetime ban from the sport of baseball in the United States of America, and the shame that comes with that, which would, of course, cause him to be likely banned lifetime from NPB, KBO, all the other leagues that actually care about the integrity of the game of baseball. The Dodgers' defense is horrible. Nobody seems to know how to play defense on the Dodgers. The infield defense is a mess. Lots of errors, lots of fielding mistakes that made no sense. And the ESPN broadcast was awful. I chose to watch it on the ESPN because I'm a impartial fan, meaning that I didn't have a rooting interest in either team. So I figured, let's not listen to a homer broadcast of the Padres or the Dodgers. Let's go ahead and just listen on watch on ESPN. And the ESPN broadcast stunk both days. Computer dismissed the alarm. Computer, dismiss the alarm. It just stunk both days. And I'm leaving that in there because that's an example of how ESPN was. Essentially, like, during the bottom of the ninth today, okay, it was very unlikely that the Dodgers were going to come back and win with 3-4-5 or 4-5-6. No, I think it was 3-4-5. Up in the bottom of the ninth and down 4, but they were talking to another guy about things that weren't baseball, and it was just ridiculous. And I would have liked for them to have actually talked about the game of baseball. Of course, they did talk about the Ohtani situation. That's something that was important. But during a pitch, during a play, lots of stuff happened where they weren't talking to it. And the in-game interview with Teoscar, I believe the in-game interview actually caused him to make what could have been an error, which I don't know how you can charge an error to a player when it's based on the equipment caused by the television partner. I hope the in-game interviews during the actual play stop and they only interview people who are on the bench because it's ridiculous. But the broadcast stunk, but I thought Major League Baseball did a really good job with the presentation. I hope they bring cheerleaders to North American baseball because I would love that job.